Hello everybody, my name is Vero, this is Vero Reads, and today I will be doing the library tag. I wanted to do for a while. I love my library. I love libraries in general, but I love my library in particular, and I'm always there. I'm constantly there. At first I wanted to film it in the library, but then it was too awkward so I didn't do it. But yes, nobody would have bat an eyelid. I feel like it's a very welcoming place for all walks of life, even somebody talking to a camera. Let's start with the questions. Question number 1 is, how often do you go to the library? I go to the library almost every day. It's really near to where I work, so I tend to have my lunch breaks at my library. And even when I'm off, I like the activity to do for me, if it's not a Sunday, is to go to the library. I just really love it. My library, my current library in particular, is so big. It has 5 floors, couches, great selection of books. Everybody's really nice and welcoming. There's a lot of like activities and initiatives, and it's a community hub, and I love that. So I am there a lot. Question number 2: do you belong to more than one library system? Yes, I am. I have my local library I'm registered to. I also have my old childhood library from Italy I'm registered to. That, of course, I use mainly if I want a specific Italian title. I would look there, but I don't use it that often. Then I have a London library that I used to live in London, and I have that library card, and I still use that, again, mainly for Libby and stuff like that. And then I have a university library card. That's just a temporary one because I'm not actually a student, but I can get a lot of non-fiction and classics there as well. And then sometimes some public libraries will issue out temporary library cards for some initiative. Maybe it's like their anniversary, or maybe like it's usually like for a week or a couple of weeks or a month, and sometimes I do that as well. And again, I mainly use the library for physical books, so it's just for fun and giggles that I have this many library cards. But I do have that many. Question number 3 is, what percentage of books you read come from the library? I did the math, and this is just for this year. I didn't count past years, but just for this year, 54% of my books come from the library. I've read 48 books so far, and 26 of them are from the library, which makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. And this is not counting all of the books that I took out, and then I was like, I'm not actually in the mood for, and I gave them back because I didn't want to have them if I was not reading them. So yeah, 54%. I'm so happy with that. I'm so chuffed with that. Question number 4 is, do you listen to audiobooks or get ebooks from the library? I do. Very rarely though. I tend to primarily get physical books out of the library, because also I know that there's the rules are different for libraries when it comes to ebooks or audiobooks. From what I understand, if I get a physical book out of the library 15 times and never read it, it's good for them, because they just show that they have interest in the library as you know, a public service, and so it's really good for them. Whereas for ebooks and audiobooks, each time I loan a book digitally, they have to kind of pay for it because they don't have a physical copy that they own, the same way we don't have a physical copy that we own when we get an ebook or an audiobook when we buy it. They tend to rent the file. So they can rent a file, 50 times for one book. And then after those 50 times it was lent out, they have to re-rent it, or they rent it for a period of time, let's say a year or 2 years. And after that year has passed, they renew it. So one thing I do is, when it comes to ebooks and audiobooks, I only loan them. Well, I only take them. Is that if I'm loaning something from the library, I'm loaning something to the library? Is loan ambivalent? Your English is a difficult language. That's not true, but it's a weird language. But when I get, what was I saying? Yes, I tend to get ebooks and audiobooks only when I'm 100% sure that I want to read them, because I don't want to get them just in case, and then, maybe the library has to buy them again. I'm not 100% sure that that's how it actually works here in the UK. I know this is how it works in Canada and the US, but I could see how that would be the case here as well. If anybody's a librarian and wants to illuminate me, please do. But yeah, I do, but not that much. Because also I don't listen to that many audiobooks and I don't read that many ebooks. I always prefer physical. I tend to read like academic books or essays in ebook form, and that I get from the university database. Question number 5. Did you go to storytime at the library as a kid? I did a couple of times, but not that much. I was always constantly at the library, but when I was younger, it was like a one time a week thing when my mom could take us. But when I got older, like in middle school, then I was able to walk to the library, and I just went there on my own, not for story time, just to get books. But we did story time a couple of times, but it wasn't really in our schedule. I was just there to read books mainly. Oh, I love my childhood library. It's changed now. They moved it to a different building, so it's not what I knew, but so many nice memories. Question number 6. Have you ever borrowed a movie or video game from your library? I have in the past. I'm not doing that as much, because now here in charity shops you get DVD for like £1, and I tend to use that as my renting. If there is a movie that I see at a charity shop that I really like, I buy it and then I watch it. If I want to keep it, I keep it. If not, I donate it back to the charity shop. And I know that there is an app, I think, where you can connect your library card to watch TV shows and movies, but I've never used it. I tend to watch the same thing over and over again, so I don't watch that many new stuff, and that's why I don't really watch new movies. Question number 7. Have you ever been fined for returning books late? If so, how do you feel about that? Maybe when I was younger. I don't remember, because I know that a lot of libraries have scrapped the fines system, but one time I had taken a book out. I didn't return it for, I want to say, a year or something. And I was so scared because I was like, oh my God, it was more the embarrassment, the shame of not having returned it yet than the actual money. Because I know that it was something like, you have a fixed amount, like you cannot go over 10 euros or 5 euros or whatever it was. So it wasn't the money amount, it was just the oh my God, I haven't done this yet. They're gonna think that I'm a horrible person and then I'm a lazy slob that doesn't care about the library. When I do, I really do. And after a year or so, I got a friend of mine to come along because I was a bit shaky. And I returned the book, and they said, "Oh, actually, this is not in our system anymore. We gave it up as lost, so you don't have to pay anything. But thank you for returning it." Very chill, very cool. They didn't charge me anything, and they didn't like scold me or anything. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was a really good experience because, again, I wasn't worried about the money because they never charged that much money. It's not like you have to pay £100 in fines. I've never heard anybody having that kind of debt to the library, at least in Italy or in the UK. But what was wrong with me was the shame of it. And there was no shame. There was no issue with that. So yeah, I think that fines are not super useful if you want to bring people in, and if you want to, especially younger people, if you want to keep them coming. But I also understand that every library is different, and they need to kind of figure out what works for them in terms also of sustainability. I can see that if there is a library that has a lot of instances of people not returning books, that they might want to introduce the fines just to get their books back so other people can use it. But I don't have a problem either way, unless it's a private library and they just want to make money off of it. But I don't think that's ever the case. Question number 8. Do you attend special events, groups, or book sales at the library? I should attend more events. My library has a lot of great things. They have like a knitting group. They have an LGBTQI plus book club. They have cultural events. They have a lot of different things. But the thing is that the library is a very private and solitary and introverted activity for me. Unfortunately, I don't see it as a community activity. But what I do is if I need to meet a friend, if I need to schedule a meeting or something, I will ask, do you want to do it at the library? So I have more people coming into the library, maybe falling in love, and maybe, I've convinced 2 people so far. Since moving here, I convinced 2 people to join this library. So I'm very happy about that. But no, I don't do their group events. They are super interesting. They have a clothes swap once a month. That's amazing. Like they're so great. They are so great. But no, unfortunately I don't. I should, but I'm very anxious around new people and new contexts. So maybe someday. Question number 9. Have you ever given or taken a book from a little free library, a book box, or a book swap? Yes, 100%. Love doing that. Unfortunately, here where I live now, we don't have any that I know of. There was one, but it kept being shut down by the city, and people kept, putting up shelves and putting up stuff, and the city kept taking them down because it was in one of those old what's it called, telephone boxes. It was a telephone box library, which I love. I had a local one, like a one that was really close by when I lived in London, and I did that constantly, especially during the pandemic. But now I tend to just give books to charity shops, because to be fair, the ones I have, because as we've seen, I mainly get them from the library. But yeah, when I have a book to give away, I go charity shops or vintage if it's a good edition and I didn't like it enough and I want some money back. Now, question number 10. I love this question. Is bonus. Does your librarian know you by name? Kinda. Because my library, my local library, is a community hub. It's not just a library. There's also like some help desks, some there's loads of stuff going on. It's a community hub. There's loads of people, but the people that work at the front desk, most of them know me by my last name. Because I reserve books a lot, and when you reserve a book, you need to give your last name. So they, like, a couple of them see me and are like, last name? And I'm like, yes. And so they know, but they don't know my name. Or maybe they do because it's like last name, first name. But yeah, some of them do. Some of them do, which I'm so happy about. I don't know their names because I'm too awkward to chat. But they know I love them. They know I love them all. But yeah, so I'm really happy. So I'm supposed to tag some people, but I don't remember who did the library tag and who didn't. So if there's anybody that I know that hasn't done it already, because this is an old tag, this is an old tag, I will tag them below. But either way, I tag everybody who wants to do this tag. There you go. If you're waiting for somebody to tag you because you have to have somebody tagging you in order to do this tag, I am tagging you. So go ahead and do it. Let me know in the comments if you're a library kid or if you're a library lover. And even if you don't want to make a whole video about it, feel free to reply to the questions in the comment box below. I am really interested in knowing what everybody's library habits are. So thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.